Hi, have you ever been embarrassed by your spelling and grammar errors? Well, I have. Let me be honest. Welcome to Heartbeat Christian Academy, and we are talking about Microsoft Word. If you've been following along in the manual, you will know that we are on page 21 today, and we are talking about lesson number 6, checking your spelling and your grammar in Word. If you want to support us, there's the banking details. And then also, if you need to contact us to get hold of the notes, there's the contact details. But without any further ado, let's look at what are we going to be learning in this lesson today. The first thing is we are going to be looking at checking spelling and grammar, and that means running the spelling and grammar check in Microsoft Word. Now, this will be applicable to 2010, 2007, and also 2016 and even 19. Even though there might be slight changes, you will be able to figure your way out once you've watched this lecture. Then also how to ignore the errors or accept them, and then also how to use the spell check feature and how to use the grammar check feature, and then how to change the settings. After this completion, you should be able to open existing Word document, correct spelling errors, correct grammar errors, and also change the setups in the back of the program. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm very, very privileged to be with you again today. Let's get to our document on the one side here, and let's have a look so I can take you through these settings. Once you've double-clicked on your Word icon, you will open your document, and you will notice some strange things in your document, and I'm sure you've seen them before. You will see some red lines and some blue lines. The red lines meaning a squibbly red line like we've got there. I'm just zooming in a bit using my control and my zoom so you can see there's a word incorrectly spelled, and that is underlined by red squibbly lines. And then there's a problem there on the there with you can see the blue squibbly line. So the first thing I want to show you today is you will still remember your ribbon up here from your previous lectures. If you don't, then go back and watch those lectures so you can become proficient in Microsoft Word, a program that's used by more than a billion users worldwide. So let's go to the top here, and let's go to spelling and grammar. Now, what you will notice as soon as you click on this, now obviously when you come into the program, a lot of times you will be on the home tab here. You will see file, home, insert, design, layout, preferences, mailings, review, view, and then you won't see the Foxit one if you haven't installed, but that's what we call a plugin. So you will go to review because you're reviewing a document. And once you've clicked on the review tab, you will notice the bottom changing, and there you've got spelling and grammar. If I click on spelling and grammar, voila, it opens up here on the side. Now, in the older versions of Word, it will probably be in the middle of the screen. And here it gives you an indication. It says you should have a comma here after that word. You can say ignore or change it. So if I change it, it's actually now put the comma there in the word. I'm just going to close this out again. If I move to the top of the document there and I start my spelling check, it says here is a problem. It says it's a grammar problem, and it gives me a suggestion. Now I can either accept the suggestion by changing it, or I can ignore it. Let's for now ignore that one, and let's for now ignore that one. And here it says you need a space. You can see there at the bottom there, you can read what it says. You need spacing. You can say, okay, change the spacing, correct that for me. Here it says that it would actually prefer to use a hyphen in the middle there. So you can say change and so forth. So you're running one by one through all the errors in the document, and it's taking you through the different segments of your document. To close out, you can just close out like this. You can go back straight to the top of the document if you want to, and you can see there, for instance, we didn't check the top. We started checking at the bottom. So here we've still got some errors. Now here I've got a spelling error. So this is the one way to do it. You go to you open the document, you normally on home when it opens, but you go to review and you go to the spelling and grammar checker there, and then it will open the dialog box at the side there, and then you can start checking as we just discussed. And it will actually start where you ended off the check. At the end, it will ask you if you want to start checking the document from the start, and you can say yes. But in this case, what I want to show you now is how to actually use another feature, and I just want to, it's called to use the spelling check feature, which is a feature that you can use on the fly. So you don't need this, you don't need to open up here. You can just right click on the word itself. And then it opens up a little sub-menu where you can actually correct it. So once I've clicked there, I can say summary. And it's corrected that for me. Once I've clicked there, I can say wanted, and I can add this to my dictionary. Now, when will you want to add something to your dictionary? It's when it's a word that's frequently spelled incorrectly. A lot of times it's like a name of an institution. I know in one of the documents I had the name Morrison, which is a youth center in George, and the document had like 10 pages and it would be spelled incorrectly 20 times or 15 times in the 10 pages. Then you can actually apply it to all. So you can say that you want to fix it to all occurrences, and you can also add that word to your dictionary, which means it will not come up in your document again. So just to recap, before we go further, once you've opened your Word document, you will end on the home page. You go to review, you open the spelling and grammar checker, and you will then be able to run through the document with the various spelling and grammar checks. And like you can see, it's now running from the top again, and it says, okay, the check is complete. Once it's complete, then your document is fixed. You can always run it at any given time again if you wanted to, but it says it's complete. I don't think there's any more suggestions and errors. I can cause an error there, and then I can go in again, and it will fix it again. So that is the one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is sort of on the fly, where you just right click and you then change it from there onwards. You can then fix it straight away. So if it's blue, it's grammar. If it's red, it's spelling. And that's the way you can do it. Then also the one thing also that we have to cover today, just looking at our course manual, is we've now covered and you can see here it looks slightly different, but it's because it's a different version of Word. So don't get a fright if you open yours and it looks slightly different. Just read what the screen says, and then if you go through here again, this is just checking the grammar feature on the fly like I showed you there. But then we also have to go look at the automatic settings. How do we change that? So without any further ado, let me show you the last part of the lecture. Just go there to display 2. There we go. Okay, so how do you get to the backstage view? Now you should be able to tell me by now, but since I can't hear what you're saying, you go to the backstage view by pushing or pressing the file menu. And then we at the backstage view. Now here we want to be concerned with the tab here at the bottom called options, and just bringing that into focus for you. This is your options. So these will change some of your global options, and we are currently talking about proofing. So once you go to proofing, you will notice the first portion of this top area here that deals with global settings on the Microsoft Office suite, which means PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, all of them will be affected. But going down to the bottom here, you will notice that these are only applicable to your Microsoft Word document. So you can switch off check spelling as you type or mark grammar errors as you type. You can switch that off, then you don't have those disturbing lines in your document. But I suggest if you're not a spell or grammar fundi, then rather leave them on. You can also switch off frequently confused words. Now that would be like there and there. You know, a lot of times it's spelled differently, and if you switch that off, it will not underline it, which is a problem. And then you can say check grammar and spelling. You can switch that off, then it won't check it anymore. but I suggest you can use this feature well. Then you also have some settings here that you can change. You can go through those settings on the grammar side of it. And you've also got some global settings on the autocorrect and also your custom dictionary. Under your custom dictionary, all the words that you've added will be in there. So if you go to your word list, you will see I've got Morrison in there. So Morrison is in my current custom dictionary because it's something that I use in a document and I don't want that to come up as a spelling error. Just a quick tip as well, as if you've incorrectly added a word to your custom dictionary, for instance, like that word there, and now I've looked at it and I say, oh, you know what, I want to add that to my custom dictionary. I can say they add to dictionary under there, or I can say, yeah, if it comes up, I can say add to dictionary. Now you see that word's no longer seen as a spelling error. This is a problem for me now because wherever I make this error, if I'm clever enough to make this exactly the same error, it will not come up. So then I go to File, yes, Backstage View, I go to Options, like we've just gone. We go to Proofing, and under Proofing, we will have to go to the Custom Dictionary, and then we will have to go to our word list. And you see that word list is there. That word is in our word list, in our Custom Dictionary. I will delete that and apply it. So now I've taken that word out of my Custom Dictionary. And so if I make this spelling error again, and it will actually pick it up in the future. Well, might have to restart the system for that. But you get my drift. There's two ways to check. It's either under the tab here or F7, or it's right-clicking in the document on the grammar and the spelling errors. You can change your settings by going under the global settings here. Under the Backstage View, you go to Options and you go to Proofing, and you can change all your settings there that you want to change. And then I also did show you that if you want to change something in your custom dictionary, like your word list, you can change it there. I can delete that word out and say okay, and now that's also out. So I hope this has been informative, and I hope it's helped you. You can see now that spelling errors come back there now. Remember, I added that to the custom dictionary. So I wanted to show you that because it's happened to me before, where I've added a lot of things to my custom dictionary that was not supposed to be there. Well, I hope this has been informative, and I hope that you will be able to do the following. Let's just have a look. You will be able to open a Word document. Now you know how to double click on it, open it, correct spelling errors and correct grammar errors, and I will require you for the assessment to be able to do it both ways, either right clicking on the word or using the spelling and grammar checker under the review option under your tabs. So you need to be able to do that. And then also I want to ask you, or I will ask you how to change your spelling and grammar settings. Obviously going to File and then going to the Backstage View options, and then going from there to your proofing options. So if you can do that, then you're probably ready for your assessment. And I would love to hear from you. If you need the notes, I've given you the contact details. You can request the notes from us. And then also, if you want to support us, like I said, there is the banking details. Other than that, we are looking forward to seeing you in the next lecture. And the next lecture will be tarara, printing. So that's already lecture 7. And as I said, currently we have 19 lectures listed in our book. And so we are at lecture 7, printing. We will still be talking about indents and tabs. We will still be talking about various other aspects, working with lists, adding breaks, working with columns, working with hyperlinks. I suggest that you go through lecture 1 or lesson 1, which is getting started, to text basics, to formatting, to saving, to modifying page layout, to where we are at currently, which is checking spelling and grammar. But you run consecutively through the course as we are doing it, because you will derive the most value. I also suggest that you open up Word documents and you play around with it, and then go back to the lecture again and then play around with it. Honestly, I've learned lots of software throughout my life, and let me tell you, the only way to really get to know your software well is to be able to sort of play around with it, open documents, correct things, and use what you've learned every day. If you use it, you won't lose it, as they say. God bless you, and then I'll see you in the next lecture, printing lesson 7.